Hello friends, it's me Drea and welcome back to Drea and the Internet. Today, we're going to be reading Reddit stories about bad dates. Now, I haven't read these stories, but I've been told that one of these stories is absolutely wild. So let's get into it. This one says bad date. Well, isn't that a very intriguing title? When I was 17 years old, I was a hostess in a restaurant. There was a man who would come in regularly and we would flirt. My 40-plus-year-old self now cringes because he was definitely way older and had no business flirting with a teenager. One day, he asked me on a date and I agreed. On the day he came to my house to pick me up, my mom was having issues with her satellite TV. He came in and said he could help her with that, and she was super grateful. After he fixed the issue, she asked, "So where are you going?" To which he replied, "To the movies. We're gonna go see Titanic." Now you know this was a while ago. Hopefully you viewers understand exactly how old the Titanic movie is. I hope. My mom said that she had been wanting to see that movie and can't wait for it to be released on video. So he invited her on our date. Ooh. Yep, he invited my mother on our date and she accepted. The three of us drive to the theater and I sit in the middle between my date and my mom. At one point, towards the end of the movie, he leans over me and says to my mother, "You know, this really happened?" My mom then grinned and said, "Well, yes. The Titanic happened. It's historical fiction." He drove us home after the movie and I never spoke to him again. He still came into the restaurant, but I ignored him because 17. Finally, one day, my mom asked me, "Are you ever going to go on another date with that guy?" I yelled, "Oh, hell no." My mom yelled back at me, "You are so fickle. You're never gonna get married." I was 17. He was definitely in his late 20s, and my mom's only concern was me getting married. Fast forward to today, and I'm happily married to the sweetest man ever, and I told my husband the story many years ago. Anytime one of us changes our mind on anything we do, our best impersonation of my mother, and say, "Why are you so fickle?" it always gives us a good laugh. That is crazy. I did hear that like back in the day, that's all it was about. Date, get married, have babies, live on. This man in his late 20s asked the 17-year-old, ew, to go on a date with him. Then on the day of the date, he invites the mom to also attend the date. I think he wanted to date your mom. It was this whole little like Stacy's mom's thing going on. But let's see what the comments have to say. One comment says, "I thought this was going to end with him banging your mom." No, for real. That's where it was looking like it was going to go. I thought it was going to go there too. I thought when you were going to fast forward to the future, you were going to say that your mom was dating this guy. And that would have been crazy. Another comment says, "I guess I wonder what year you were born and what year your mom was born. When I was 17, the country girls were all dating dudes who worked offshore. It didn't seem that strange at the time." In that time, it makes sense that it doesn't seem strange, but also like girls when they're that age, you know, like and getting the attention of an older guy seems like a really cool thing to do. So we don't see it as creepy or anything that someone is attracted to a minor, you know? OP responded, "Mom 1952, me 1982." So there was a 30-year age gap between OP and her mom. And then at least a 10, so a 20-year age gap between mom and date. Yeah, I think he wanted to bang your mom. I feel like that's not like the worst date. I can see how it's a bad date because you don't want to bring your mom on a date, especially not a first date, especially when you're 17 and like your mom is like probably one of the most uncool people you know. But let me know down in the comments, did you think that he was going to end up with the mom? Or how weird do you think it is that the mom even agreed to go on the date? Because she could have said no, knowing that that was a date, but she said yes. So did mom have another motive? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. This next story, Date Gone Wrong. Again, a very descriptive title that keeps me engaged. Let's see what went wrong. I hadn't dated in a while when I was contacted by this woman who had seen my photo on Facebook and said I looked nice. We talked for a while, DMs, I wanted to make sure they weren't a bot. Later, we agreed to meet at the nearby McDonald's. Classic. I wanted to pick out a place that was a neutral ground. I spotted her and we talked for a bit. We really hit it off and everything was going fine until I offered to buy us food before we explored the neighborhood. There was one place I wanted both of us to go. So I got in line and waited for a bit. When I was approached by this police detective, he did show me his badge and asked me to step aside for a moment. That was when my date was arrested. Yes, arrested. In a McDonald's. Arrested in a McDonald's. I then had to give the cops a statement, and I was told to block her on Facebook ASAP, then sent home. Another cop mentioned warrants. I think I got off lucky. I wish you would tell us what these warrants were for, where the cop is telling you to block her on a date at McDonald's. A classic date. I wish I knew how old you guys were. I'd never been on a date to McDonald's, but that sounds like it'd be like a teenage thing, or maybe early adult. But what were the warrants for? I need the tea. Okay, let's see what the comments have to say. Okay, there is a comment from OP, and it says, so I have been asked, no, I don't know why she got arrested. Heard a rumor it could have been as many as 5 warrants. Interesting enough, checking via a friend's account, her profile was gone shortly after. That doesn't tell us anything. You know her name. Look her up. Look her up in the county jail thing. I don't know, just Google it. Arrest. They should have it. It should be public of some sorts. Somebody comment, plot twist. The cop was her friend and this was her emergency bailout plan. The date wasn't actually going as well as OP thought. Oh, that is an interesting take. You could have been a bad date. She probably set it up as soon as you said you wanted to meet at a McDonald's. It was like, hey, and maybe she's friends with the cop. She was like, hey, this guy wants to meet me at the McDonald's. It's weird. I'm going to throw this signal and then you got to come get me. Diabolical. It's wild that could be her plan, but also safe. Well, let me know down in the comments. Do you think that she set up an escape plan? Or do you think she actually got arrested? We'll do one more story. How a narcissist almost killed me on our first date. See, now these are the kind of titles that we need right here. This comes from a comment I made and I thought I'd share it here. We were both 16. They mentioned wanting to go to a seafood restaurant. I told them I'm allergic to shellfish, dangerously EpiPen allergic. I too am allergic to shellfish along with other things. I do not have an EpiPen. We decided to go to a place with a few seafood options, and I told the staff about my allergy, and they said it was no problem keeping my food separated. I start eating my salad, and suddenly my mouth and throat are itching. I grab my bag and use my pen. I got scared and told my date to call an ambulance. EMT get there, I got 3 more injections, and was taken to the hospital. While they worked on me, my date told one of the EMT that he had put chopped up pieces of shrimp in my salad when I had gone to the restroom. He said he did it because he wanted to prove that I was just faking having an allergy to get attention. Why would somebody fake that? That's crazy. He could have killed you. EMT tells hospital, who call the police. Please go to his house and then come back and talk to my foster parents. My foster parents told me my date first said that the restaurant must have made a mistake, and then he said I put it in there myself to get attention. His parents backed him up. Of course they did. Of course. My foster parents decided not to go further with any charges. What happened to the guy? Jail. 3 incidences of white-collar crime. First, stole money from a fraternal organization when he was secretary. Second, stole money from his place of business by cooking the books. Third time, he was cheating first-time home buyers by siphoning money off the deals. Never confessed to any of the thefts. That's crazy. I'm glad that you're alive. And for him to sit there and put shrimp in your salad after you had said that you're allergic to shellfish is crazy. He's crazy. You dodged a bullet. I'm glad this date didn't go well. I'm almost glad that this actually happened to you because now you don't have to worry about being with an asshole like him. Let's see what the comments have to say. Somebody said, your foster parents are shitbirds. I would have definitely seen to it that this scum bucket was behind bars. Big boy games have big boy consequences. OP replied, yeah, but this was 1984. No one wanted to give a bad reputation. Everyone got a second chance. In a small town, things get swept under the rug. Edit to add, I told everyone I knew. It got around quick. Well, at least she spread the word about it. Somebody said, narcissists are always charming at first. Lesson learned. Should have dated a short king. OP said, I dated a very tall nerd and married him. I love that for her. Sounds like she found a really good guy, and I'm happy that she's still around. Well, at least to have posted this story and commented. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about how the foster parents handled this. And would have you tried to get charges pressed on this guy? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!